Welcome back to Just Ranked. Here we are, the four guys you used to see. Less than creepy. We're coming in loud, hard, and heavy.
Coming in hot.
Hey, how are you? We've had a few beverages, and we're ready to roll out whatever episode this is. We don't know the number.
38.
38. Something that we talked about doing many, many months ago. We are coming at you with Pink Floyd. That's right, a band that we all love. My third favorite band of all time. I believe it's in Chris's top 5 as well. Third.
Wow.
Right behind AC/DC and INXS is Pink Floyd. Alice in Chains and Fleetwood Mac round out the top. If anyone gives a flying fuck. Anyway.
I mean, I gotta be honest, I did, but I don't think Jimmy did.
Listen to
but anyway, you know us at Just Ranked. We're a music podcast. We like to rank our favorites, our top 4 favorites. We have Jimmy the Waver, Joe the non-waver, and Chris the hand motions kind of guy.
Hand motions. He's making friends.
Yes. You can follow us
ladies
in all the familiar places. You find this is, if you're watching us right now, you know we're on YouTube. We're on all the audio platforms. You can check out our landing page, justrankedpod.com, and find the links to all our sheet. But anyway,
non-creepy dink.
Yeah, non-creepy dink is loud and abrasive. He comes at you, whether you want it or not. He's right there in your face, if you will. I have a little intro that I put together for Floyd. It's not super long because they have a long, illustrious career, or did before they kind of shut it down. I have some stuff here, so I'm going to read. Floyd intro. That's how it starts. Underline. Pink Floyd.
Reading everything.
Yes, I will physically read Dink's notes, Floyd intro.
Me too.
Chapter 3.
Chapter 1. Pink Floyd, formed in 1965 in London, emerged as a pioneering force in rock music, initially captivating audiences with their psychedelic sound under the leadership of Syd Barrett. I don't have this in the notes, but I know early on we talked, I think it was you, Jimmy, that said that they were R&B. Couldn't find that anywhere.
I sent you guys the link.
Yeah, and look at that link again, ever. So that's cool. They were a psychedelic sound, but also, based on past episodes of us, considered R&B in the early days, which is just bizarre to me. The band's early hits, like Arnold Lane and See Emily Play, got a little bit of play. Barrett's unique songwriting and whimsical, as they say, guitar defined their early sound. But his deteriorating mental health led to the departure in '68. He left the band, paving the way for David Gilmour to join the band and marking a significant shift in their musical direction. If you know Pink Floyd and their older sound, it is for sure a significant shift, but also always had small hints of that early sound, just progressed the way music would. I like their entire catalog, but if I was to choose, I would leave out the Syd Barrett days because it is different and it is 60s style psychedelic to me. It's not R&B. Anyway.
It's almost experimental.
Yeah, it's a little experimental, exactly. And when Gilmour came in, it got a little more guitar and, normalized, but still a psychedelic kind of sound, right? Yeah. So the release of Dark Side of the Moon in '73 catapulted the band to international fame, innovative soundscapes, and deep thematic content that addressed mental health and societal issues. You know, they always seemed to have a backdrop of mental health stuff. And sure, we'll get into some of their songs and some of their albums that are clearly about Syd, clearly about their former bandmate, but they seem to have a whole aura of writing and singing about that, which is fine. I think it made great music. Of course, Dark Side of the Moon was followed up by Wish You Were Here, largely based and dedicated to Syd. Animals, that was in '75. Animals in '77, both reinforced their status as leading progressive rock artists. with Roger Waters' lyrics and Gilmour's iconic guitar work. In '79, the band unveiled The Wall, rock opera that explored themes of isolation and personal trauma, accompanied by a groundbreaking live show, and of course, the movie that most have seen. It produced timeless classics, including Another Brick in the Wall, and became a cultural landmark. However, internal tensions, particularly between Waters and Gilmour, led to Waters' departure in '85 after the release of the final cut. I've stated before in the past, I'm a Roger guy. I like Roger Waters. He's a nut bar.
Well, that's why I don't like the final cut, and why I'm more of a Gilmour guy is because he kind of pushed the rest of them out, and
he kind of did, right? He was pushing them out.
Nick Mason straight up, he didn't deserve credits if all he was going to do was drum on the album.
Right, and he started that through The Wall. He took so much lead. Right. I'm doing all this, I'm doing all that, and then the final cut was really the final straw.
And I even saw an interview with Gilmour from the time where he said Roger believes that he deserves more of the credit because he does more, and Gilmour goes, I'm not saying he doesn't, but he doesn't deserve all of it.
Right. And you listen to some of that, and you know it's the rest of the band is so much a factor, so contributing, especially Gilmour.
Yes.
So it just shows that Roger had his head firmly planted in his ass. But anyway, despite the split, Gilmour, Mason, and Wright continued to create and released Momentary Lapse of Reason in '87 and Division Bell in '94, both achieving massive commercial success. Pink Floyd's legacy endures, marked by their innovative sound and profound influence on the music landscape, continuing to inspire generations of fans and artists alike, even though they haven't really done anything in years, minus their solo work. They haven't had a Floyd album in years. And sadly, I never saw them in concert. It is one of the few bands I would pay massive dollars if they ever got back together. But I don't think it would ever be the same based on Roger being the way he is, right? Being Roger. But like I said, I do sway for that chunk of great albums. I do kind of sway towards Roger. But we'll get into that when we break down our specific songs. But that's my intro, boys. And I will pass it off. Chris, I believe you're starting.
Yes. And I'm a big Pink Floyd fan, although I knew of them, but I know I've mentioned before, I didn't really get into them until Momentary Lapse of Reason. I didn't really listen to them. I knew a couple songs from The Wall. I didn't really know what Dark Side of the Moon was. So when I heard Momentary Lapse of Reason, that's when I went back and got into them. I have seen Roger live. I've talked about that before, and he was fine. But I don't know any of his or Gilmour's solo stuff. So when he did,
did he play the whole Wall, or did he do solo stuff as well?
So the first half of the concert, he did his solo stuff, and then the second half, he did Wall stuff.
Right,
Pink Floyd stuff. So that was kind of cool to see, and it was free. So why wouldn't I go see it?
Yeah. The ticket free concerts are the best concerts.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah. That could depend.
But and then when I say I'm more of a Gilmour guy over Roger, I think it's just because Roger seems to be more abrasive in his interviews. Also, I love Gilmour's voice and guitar playing. I love
his guitar is just.
Have you seen the memes where it's like Pink Floyd's launched more people to space than NASA, and it's like got a Gilmour guitar solo playing underneath it?
Nice.
Yeah, fucking right. Huge band for me.
How could the bassist? Well, let me just say this, Chris, before we go. How could the bassist think he's bringing more? Has the bassist in any other band ever said they brought more than everybody else?
John,
and he's good. Yeah,
he's good.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, he's good.
Deacon
writes good lyrics.
But Deacon never said, "I am the man." Probably. Yeah. Everyone knew Freddie was.
No, and when you were talking about the final cut, some of the other stuff I read too is the rest of the band said that stuff was left over from The Wall, and it wasn't good enough for The Wall. They didn't think it was good enough for this.
Right. So I'll just put out another Roger album and get the fuck out of here.
He should have done a solo album, probably. Right. What he should have done.
Yeah.
Totally. Whatever. So having said that, being a big fan, I'm not like Dink where I have stuff locked in. I have one that's been locked in for years, but everything else rotates. and usually it's nothing past maybe once in a while there's something from the Division Bell, but it's probably nothing past Momentary Lapse of Reason. If it is, it's from Delicate Sound of Thunder, the live album, which I'm a huge fan of,
That's
and
a
was
great
another
Right.
Columbia House cassette, double cassette for me. I got double the Pink Floyd for no money.
Yeah.
I mean, for the penny.
Right.
I actually played that so much that the tape deck in my truck ate it.
I've had enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, Truck's like, I'm done with this one.
Yeah.
I'm done. The other thing I was going to say about Pink Floyd: 15 studio albums, 7 live albums, 12 compilation albums, 5 box sets. I have one.
Just
Right.
a massive amount of material, right?
But
How many remasters?
yes, right. I didn't even think of that. On the Dark Side of the Moon, how many weeks was it on the charts? 900 and something weeks on the charts, something ridiculous.
Ridiculous,
Off
right?
again, on again, you know.
Still charting.
It might even
Still
be
charting. I was just going to say, like recently, we saw that it charted.
Yeah,
right?
we were just talking about that a couple episodes back.
Yeah.
So, having said all that, I've got my songs that I'm listening to right now, and one that I've been listening to for years. So that's my number 1. My number 4 is going to be an instrumental, and it is One of These Days.
nice.
And it's
I don't know it.
mainly for the guitar solo and the drum in it. And I got to be honest, I think what really brought my attention to the song was I rewatched a couple months ago, and I did it again this weekend, the Live at Pompeii, which I absolutely love. Which they put on a concert for nobody, but then for millions because everybody watched it on video.
Yeah.
Right.
And they just re-released it again too.
Right.
Yep.
The only lyrics in it is Nick Mason saying, "One of these days I'm going to find you and tear you to pieces." It's just one of those songs that I have to be careful when I'm driving. As it builds up, I may start to speed up.
Isn't that
It's one
great?
of those songs.
It wasn't me, officer. It was Pink Floyd.
Yeah, it's Pink Floyd's fault, Ossifer. Why is that white smoke coming out of your car?
It was the bass player's fault.
Yeah. Yes.
Dave, in here, man.
No,
it's
it's Nick
their fault.
Mason's fault. I love and in Live at Pompeii, he's not playing the drums with the sticks. He's playing with mallets, which I think gives it a deeper sound at some
Right.
point.
A cutting sound, yeah.
And that's that. If you like this band, their instrumental stuff is just phenomenal too, right? Like, doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
I had some stuff from Momentary Lapse of Reason, like Terminal Frost was on my
Yeah.
list that
Yeah.
I find fucking cool.
I was going to say
Yeah.
there's a couple of instrumentals, including Terminal Frost, that were on my list.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah,
for a minute I thought, oh, should I have an instrumental on here? I'm like, but I love this song so I love their instrumental so much.
Yeah. So
Also, like half of their songs, they start off with the guitar solos and the drum solos before they sing a lyric.
Before they even sing, right? Or the
Yeah.
singing is
Right.
is minimal in some of their songs because
Right.
it's all about the music, right? And I personally am not a massive instrumental kind of guy. I know Joe is, based on Satriani and Steve Vai, and you are too, Jimmy. Like I'm not. So when you guys talk about it, I respect it, but I always kind of sway a little bit to singing, I guess. And Floyd has a combination of both, so it's good.
Sometimes I even like this instance. One time I remember thinking, oh yeah, there's no lyrics in this song.
There's
I didn't
no
even
singing.
realize it. Right? There's no real singing in the song. You don't even realize it. Anyways, that's my number 4.
one thing that's cool about their instrumentals, though, is because obviously all their music is, I've used this word before, but very cinematic, very big, very visually, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's why I love their music. It's very like elaborate,
Yeah.
for lack of a better term, right?
And so I like their instrumentals because they don't change their style at all. It's the same style as Pink Floyd, only with no words, and it almost leaves it almost more wide open, just for your
And
mind.
if you go back and
more
look at my history,
interpretation, right?
Yeah.
you look at my history with like bands like Tool and the Mars Volta. I love those bands, and they all have long 11-minute, 15-minute songs that I said before on Tool I consider eargasms the whole time.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, the 3 bands that you're mentioning are very similar, far apart musically, but also very similar musically.
Right.
Yeah.
You can see the influence.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Great pick.
Yep. Good pick. Solid.
So that we're still number 4, right? Jesus, that seemed like it took a long time.
Doesn't work.
So my number 3 is "Wish You Were Here."
That would have been number 5 for me.
Oh, was it your honorable mention if we did it?
Yep.
I went back and forth with this and "Shiny Crazy Diamond."
Oh,
Yeah.
I listened to that one a lot, but recently, actually, for the past couple of years, "Wish You Were Here" has been much higher on my playlist than "Shiny Crazy" for whatever reason. Produced by Alan Parsons.
Yep.
Oh, there he is again.
Yeah. Right.
He's like,
Always
yeah,
showing up.
We talked in pre-production about the over/under. We're at 3.
Number 2 is "Time," and basically, it's a lot of this one's lyrically a lot. Also, I mean, the guitars, the music, but the one day it gets behind you. You know, I've forgotten the lyrics because I've had too much scotch, but
is that the lyrics?
That didn't
That
rock
could
very
have been the
well.
lyrics at one time in a pub somewhere.
Wow, that's deep.
But it's one of those songs that kind of like I've seen people when they first realize the lyrics like start to tear up when they realize what they're saying in it. You know what I mean? Like it's very emotional. It's been big in my life. I have broken and down crying listening to it before. I'm not proud to admit, but
Their music is emotional, right? Like if you love this band,
Yep.
this is a band, and I might have said this in a past episode. It's funny, and last week we did albums. A few years ago, I was back home in Ontario at my old trailer park, and it was a raining night, so we were sitting by the fire until it started to rain too hard, and then we went under an enclosed area, like a tarped area or a gazebo that our friends had, and there was just 4 of us guys still up, and we were all pretty hammed, and we put Floyd on, and we listened to Dark Side, Wish You Were Here, Animals, and The Wall all in a row, because it started with one, and then we're like, put on the next one, and I haven't done that in years, right? And we're all older men now, and we're all chilling, right? And like I said, we were drinking. There might have been the odd joint. And Buddy goes, "This is awesome." I'm like, "This is just so old school. This is really cool." Like we were all quiet. We talked a little bit. We actually were listening to the music, just kind of chilling. Wow. Yeah, it was so, and that's what you can do with this band, right? If you enjoy this band, it was awesome experience, right? Like who would have thought years later that you'd be doing that with 3 other guys, right?
Right.
But
yeah, and that kind of goes back what I think about this band. I never go to Pink Floyd and listen to one song. Right. If I do, it's one of 2 songs, but otherwise, for the most part, when I listen to Floyd, I'm listening to an entire album.
Right.
Every time.
And whether you're putting it on and do something else and it's playing in the background, or you're just sitting there actually listening to the music, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's great background music. It's great to listen to and just kind of delve into. But yeah, it's not a band I go, oh, okay, I'm going to go listen to now. I don't know, Shiny Crazy Diamond, and then that's it. You know?
Right. Which part?
If I put them on a mixed list, I usually put 3 or 4 of their songs in a row.
Right.
Right.
Well, it is weird if you put one in the middle of a mix. They don't even fit with any other. You know what I mean? If you're in a backyard, you play a bunch of rock and then you throw on, unless it's like, and I don't want to name some of the basic bitches, right? Young Lust or Comfortably Numb, maybe, but you wouldn't. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I mean, they have a few concept albums, but not every album's a concept album. But they all feel like it, right? Because they all feel like they all have a general theme and a general
starting and ending point, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, and I think I said this before. I used to fall asleep every night for weeks when I had a CD of Symphonic Pink Floyd by the London Philharmonic.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
It's really cool to fall asleep to, man. Like the fucking
totally makes sense because
wild dreams, man. Wild dreams.
Yeah, agree.
Jimmy, you got something?
Well, just to piggyback on what you were saying, they're just a really cerebral band.
Very, yeah.
So, it activates something in your head. If you are in the mind space to accept it, it opens up things. I mean, not like a psychedelic drug, but just musically and mentally, sometimes spiritually. Some people take Pink Floyd to the spiritual level. But I'm a dumb metalhead. So sometimes the cerebral part of it, I can't grab onto, but sometimes I can just grab it and just ride the wave, if that makes sense.
It totally makes sense. I got some metal buddies that don't like Floyd because it's the opposite of listening to it to go to sleep. They say it puts them to sleep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Boredom or whatever because they want to rock. They want to rock out.
But like for me, like driving at night, a late night cruise, and I can put almost any Floyd on.
Me too.
I mean, for years I listened to, believe it or not, there was a time I didn't listen to a lot of Prince. For years I listened to Zeppelin and Floyd. Like I consider for the longest time those two bands were like this. Like you can't have Floyd without Zeppelin, you can't have Zeppelin without Floyd, even though they have anything to like, right? Right. But for the longest time, and still this day, when I think of Zeppelin, I think of Floyd. When I think of Floyd, I think of Zeppelin, and they sound nothing alike.
I know people that don't like Floyd for the saxophone, and I'm a huge saxophone guy.
Right.
I used to play sax.
I love the way it plays in, right? Like,
yeah.
Zeppelin's number 6 on that list of bands, just so you know.
Saxophone.
Right after Fleetwood is Zeppelin. So I have Floyd at 2 and Zeppelin at 6 all time. So,
well, mine goes Prince, and then Prince and Revolution, then Prince and the MPG, and
then
Nuno, then Extreme, and then on Nuno's other side jobs.
And somewhere down there is Pink Floyd and Zeppelin.
All right, what's next, brother?
Are we at number 1? Yes.
Are we?
You just did. I wish you were. I mean, time.
Yeah.
That
was number 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 1. Number 1, I have picked, and I have been listening to this for years, and it's the Live at Pompeii version that I prefer, is Echoes.
Oh, wow.
It's a great album.
So that track is 23 and a half minutes long, right? On Live at Pompeii, they break it up over 2. 1 to 6 is the first track, and then is the bottom. So I just usually just listen to the first track, which is 11 minutes long. So shortened to 11 and a half minutes long, right?
Yeah.
The drums, the guitars, the video when it's playing, I like, but I don't even need to see the video. I'll put the headphones on when I'm in the kitchen doing dishes or cleaning up or something like that. And I'll try not to do it when Christy's around, because I'll start dancing around like a fucking fool to this song. And I don't dance. I fucking don't dance. And it's not really a dance song, but I love the song. There's something about it that just gets me fucking going. I love this song, especially, like I said, the first half of it. If anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about, you should watch Live at Pompeii. I just think it's
awesome.
It's very, very good. Yep.
Or listen to the album. Listen to live. We basically put on a live concert for nobody.
Yep.
Right? That's cool.
Yeah.
Right. In a really historical place. Right. And one point, it's just them in jeans, shirtless, because they're so fucking hot. Right.
Right.
And nobody around.
And that was one of the places that the Beatles were thinking about doing their last concert, was at Pompeii. And they're like, I take a lot of work to get there. And
too many volcanoes.
So they did on the rooftop instead.
Anyway.
No, man, that was a great list. Like, I don't, as a lover of the band, I don't think you can go wrong. Like, I would assume if Jimmy, if you're less of a fan, yours will be maybe a little more basic, unless you really dove in.
I would imagine that mine would pretty much be considered basic.
Yeah, or popular or whatever, right? Or more well known. Like Echoes is probably not that well known.
I have no idea what
I was going to say. That would probably be the only one that I would say, because I did have Fearless on there, but it got knocked down as well.
Fearless is great. Like, there's so many great songs. Like,
right.
It's my name.
Yes.
Well, and that was the other thing. Once I'd pick a song, I'm like, well, this song goes to the next song that comes right after the album, so I can't pick that song because it's kind of, even though it doesn't, even though it doesn't, but it's in my mind, I can't not hear that third song without the second song.
Right. Some of them just run together, and I know it's weird.
I see. I love that when that happens. The mental recall. You hear a song, and you immediately know what's going to start
What's
next.
coming next, right?
Yeah.
And if it doesn't happen, it throws you off. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny you mentioned
and there-
Zeppelin because Zeppelin's albums are like that too. You know the next track if you know the
Yeah,
band,
right.
Yep.
and to pick it and put it on a list, and then something else comes on after. It's weird, right? You're like, oh no,
Right.
that should come after that song. Like, how did you leave that song out?
Bieber can't come after any kind of Zeppelin song.
Well,
I thought you said
and
Bieber.
what I was going to say again, it's like the songs that do have lyrics. If I don't remember the lyrics, like I don't right now, but if it came on, I would. If I'm driving somewhere, it comes on, I'm singing with it. Like
Right.
I know.
Yep.
But that's my list.
Nice list. Way to get it started off.
Yeah. Good start. Good
Jimmy,
start.
it is up to you.
Well, mine's probably going to be short and sweet.
Bring
My disclaimer is I don't hate Pink Floyd. I don't search them out. I don't dislike Pink Floyd. I can listen to one Pink Floyd song. Pink Floyd as a whole reminds me of one of my good friends back in high school, Jamie Hicks. We talked, Chris and I mentioned my number one song. We already know it if you go back and listen to it. It just, Pink Floyd in general reminds me of this guy, Jamie Hicks. And it's a cool feeling to think about an old buddy. So this whole episode, I'm thinking about my buddy from high school. So that's a cool feeling.
That is cool.
So I'm just going to hit it straightforward here. By the way, there is an article from January 12th of 2025 talking in its entirety about how Pink Floyd started out as R&B. And Syd Barrett took R&B to Cosmic Bo Diddley and then turned into, that's what this article is, which I'll send to you guys later.
Yeah, no, that
All right.
and, yeah, I believed you. Yeah, for sure. That's interesting, right? It's weird.
They started out doing R&B covers, and then they started progressing from there, and then they turned themselves into Pink Floyd.
You got to start somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so number 4 is from Dark Side of the Moon, 1973, is a basic bitch.
Basic
Money.
bitch.
Just love the cash registers. Just
Boom, 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 boom.
I love how it starts. There's a thump to it. It's very driving. What's really cool about this song is the time signature. It is in 7/4.
Now here's music class with Jimmy.
Which means the count is 7 quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So every third measure begins a new count of could be 4/4. So it sounds like it's a standard count. The natural ear for a human is 4/4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
Right.
So 7/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2. You could see how it could roll into sounding standard, but it's an actual odd time signature.
This has been music class with Jimmy.
This was written by Roger Waters. It's the first song on the side 2 of the album, so it starts off with a bang. My brother had this album, and I would put it on just for this song growing up, and I just loved this song. What's really another really cool thing about it is the cash register, the money going cling, cling. That acts as an actual counter to set the tempo for the other members in the band to have their count when they come in. So I thought that was musically really, really cool. It's really cool to hear how some engineers bring in a meter to rather than having a metronome. Sorry, they just use those sound effects to set the tempo, which I thought was cool. Number 10, Cashbox. Number 13, U.S. Billboard 100. Number 18 in Canada. It's a sarcastic critique of capitalism and greed. The allure and the negative interweave There's the allure of getting more money, the negative of having the money. It's really, and they use gas as a metaphor a lot, especially on this album. I think it's used 4 or 5 times on this album about having gas, running out of gas, not enough gas. So that's pretty cool. That's my number 4.
Nice.
Can't complain with that. That's a good pick. That was actually on my list, but I was like, somebody's gonna have this song. So, but I
don't think it's I don't think it's any more basic than Time was.
Correct. No, I agree. Again, though, if you take any of their songs, and a lot of their songs we're gonna find out we're gonna talk about, like Time wasn't a single, but everyone knows that song, right? You know?
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's not basic, but it's just familiar. Everybody knows. I'm surprised
more well known.
Like it's very well known, right?
Yeah, more attainable. Yeah.
And I know I didn't grow up in their prime, but I don't remember a lot of radio play for Pink Floyd.
I don't either.
Right?
My brother played them a lot.
Yeah, when it played around here, all I heard was just standards. There was like Another Brick and Wall Part 2, and that's about it.
Right.
Young Lust, Comfortably Numb.
Yeah,
which you were here.
Yeah,
if they're having a slow jam,
right.
Or, you know what I mean?
And I would see Learning to Fly video on
Learning to Fly later, right? Like, yeah.
Oh yeah, when that kicked in, that was everywhere on YouTube. I mean, MTV. Yeah.
And I talk about KQRS, the radio station KQ92 in Minneapolis. It was those songs and one extra one, Dirty Woman. Dirty Woman was played.
That's Young Lust. That's Young Lust.
Into the ground.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, if you don't have anything else, I'm going to go to my next one. This was a B-side to Comfortably Numb. So it's From the Wall. It's 4 minutes, 40 seconds long, 1979. It was not, but I do love this song. And it's Hey You. I love this song.
In the cold, getting lonely, getting old, can you hear me?
And the bass line to this is so awesome. For those non-musicians, the bass player is playing a fretless bass. If you look at the neck on a fret, or look at the neck on a guitar or a bass, they have these little metal bars. They're called frets. This one doesn't have frets, so it has more of a boom sound to it. So fretless bass on this. It's fucking cool. The acoustic guitar to this. It's about reconnecting with the outside world after isolating. It's just metaphorical pain and rhetorical thought about trying to rejoin something that you've taken yourself out of, which in this story, he's taken himself out of the limelight and trying to get yourself back into the race if you can, but you've buried yourself in such a big hole that you can't see the sunlight out of the hole. So I love it. There's a cool, again, vibe to it that, it's comforting, but it's also there's a sorrow to it.
Yeah.
That's number 3.
Yeah, it's a good point because even their happy songs have a sorrow to it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And sorrow.
Melancholy.
World. Melancholy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good description.
Yeah. All right. I'll move on.
Great pick.
Move on.
Great pick.
All right. So this one is from their coolest album cover. Wish You Were Here. That I love that album cover so much. It is just really cool. And again, it goes with that greed, allure, and the negativity that goes along with it. Absence, missing someone, wanting to be there, not there. It is Have a Cigar. And I love this song.
Great
but
song.
I love the cover by Primus more from Miscellaneous Debris. Primus's version brought me back to Pink Floyd's version, and the bass line in this is fucking superb. There's a cool bounce to it. It's an odd time signature, and I love it so much. Where was I going? The song is based on an actual experience that they had with the music industry. Have a cigar, kid, you're gonna go far. And the song came out during a time of real tension and boredom within the band. So they're having a hard time figuring shit out, and they were getting irritated with each other.
There's tension in Pink Floyd? What?
Right. As the stories unfold about Roger Waters and then previously Sid Barrett. So it's a really cool story, but you have to listen a little harder to the story. What was I going to say? This song features a guest singer, Roy Harper. Only 3 songs in the entirety of Pink Floyd's catalog have they had a guest singer, and this is Roy Harper singing on that. So, that's my song.
Great.
Interesting story about how Roy Harper ended up doing that too, because he just happened to be in the studio with them, and Roger didn't like how his voice was going with the lead part, and same thing for David, and they're like, "Why don't you sing it?" And they're okay, and so he sang it. That's really how it happened.
Oh, I did not know that actually.
They just weren't happy with how their own vocals were with their lead vocals with singing the song, but they wanted that melody, and they just weren't happy with their own.
Wow,
so.
I didn't know that.
Right place, right time.
Right.
There's a famous song where this band were recording this song, and their singer couldn't get the meter, couldn't get it to sound right, and then the bass player tried singing it, didn't work, and then the other guitar player started singing it, and the drummer, and nobody can get it right. But there was a 15-year-old kid just hanging out, and they said, "Hey, why don't you try it?" Incense and Peppermints, Strawberry Alarm Clock. That was a 15-year-old kid singing that, who ended up being their full-time singer. So it's interesting how that happens.
I wish that would happen to me, but I'm not a singer, so.
Right.
I'm not
Me
either.
either.
There's a reason why I play guitar.
All right. Well, I'll end your pain of the non psycho Pink Floyd fan. I did mention this on another episode. My favorite song by Pink Floyd is and will always be "On the Turning Away."
I love this song. Yes.
Yeah, Momentary Lapse of Reason. The B-side is Run Like Hell. It's about the disillusionment with society, the consequences of turning a blind eye to injustice and suffering. And it's seemingly a constant concept for Pink Floyd. They had a lot of this concept in a lot of different songs and varying elements. So just love it. And Chris described it as kind of an Irish pub song at one point on one of our earlier episodes, and I totally hear that. And I love this song. And again, it reminds me of my buddy Jamie Hicks, who played this song incessantly driving around, booze cruising. We didn't do that. Don't ever do that. In the gravel roads of Minnesota. That's it.
Yeah, I do what this was my number 5. And to be honest with you, at one point there was 3 songs on my list from that album.
Yeah.
Like literally, like I said, it's one I'm probably gonna be talking about pretty soon. On the Turning Away and Terminal Frost were all 3 on my list, but my top 4. I'm like, ugh. I wanted to mix up a little bit, but then I started listening to other albums. Like, oh no, I gotta have this song. But yeah,
right.
That was literally my number 5. Love this song.
Well, that's a great segue because you are next, brother.
You are next.
Well, I got a bunch of basic bitches too, so
that's fine. I gave you 5 minutes, so I'm out.
Good.
Tapping out.
So my number 4 is from Dark Side of the Moon. It is Brain Damage. I love this song.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I think we all know a lot of these songs. We either perceive to be about Sid Barrett or are known to be about Sid Barrett. Again, like every kid, when I was like 17, 18 back in high school, we all did a deep dive on Sid Barrett. Like, oh my gosh. And of course, half the shit we heard was completely false. There was no internet back then, because now we can rely that the internet is 100% true.
100% accurate.
100% accurate.
Right. And the lies in the palm of your hand.
Right. I believe everything on my phone.
The song was written by Roger Waters. Waters has stated that the insanity-themed lyrics are based on former frontman Sid Barrett's mental instability. I always had a hard time with what songs were about Sid, so I had to find not Wikipedia but other multiple places making sure those songs are actually about Sid. Because let's face it, you can take any song, a Pink Floyd song, and be like, oh, that's about Sid. That's about Sid.
Yeah, rabid fans would say 40 of their songs are about Sid.
Yeah.
They weren't writing about Sid every fucking song.
So a lot of my I watched a lot of Roger Waters interviews. That's not fun.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not a fan, and I know that's not fun.
Right.
Rick Beato interviewed David Gilmour, and that was just a magical interview. I could listen to David Gilmour
really good interview
for hours. Like, seems like a really nice guy. He totally is not arrogant in any way.
Right. He's the total opposite.
So yeah, it's the complete opposite of Roger Waters.
Right.
Yeah.
But so I watched a lot of Waters, and not saying that everything he says is the truth, but it's his song. He's got to tell me what it's about. So that's what he says about. Unlike other Waters penned tracks of that era, Brain Damage features Gilmour on lead vocals.
Right.
Which didn't typically happen a lot. If Waters wrote a song, he generally.
Oh, yeah. He had an owner boner for sure.
Yeah. The eerie laugh heard in the song and throughout the album, actually, is credited to a road manager, Peter Watts. And who is his daughter, you may ask? Naomi Watts.
Huh.
What?
It turns out she's a Nepo baby. I don't know. Does that count if your dad was like in music and then you're an actress?
We call them Knee Baby Greedy Baby.
Wow.
Yeah. Thought that was pretty interesting. And I had to cross-reference that, make sure that was correct. And that,
right.
Yeah. Yep. Naomi Watts is his daughter.
Wow. That's cool.
The song obviously leads right into Eclipse to close out the record. Again, this reminds me of when I think of, Brain Damage, I think of Eclipse. They just kind of one and another, right? I mean, they're really two songs that make up one song, right? But it makes it, again, I think a very emotional climax to that album. I think it's a big album. Obviously, it's always been heralded as probably the most perfectly mixed and produced album of all time.
Yeah.
It is. I don't know how people are still trying to figure out how they had this album that was very, very, very produced, but doesn't sound overproduced, and it sounds absolutely large.
It's a fucking masterpiece, right?
Like, it is. But the song is beginning is sparse musically, and I think that's what kind of draws you in, right? Yeah. It's just the vocals and guitar, and it just helps. I think in the very 3/4 of the song really helps it be somber and kind of low. And then when it kind of picks up the crescendo there towards the end. And going into Eclipse, it's amazing. Yeah, that's my number 4, Brain Damage.
Yeah,
nice. It was on my list.
You are a lunatic.
And you know what? A lot of these songs, they're going to be on my list if you ask me in 2 months. 6 months. You know what I mean, right? Like if you ask me, like, oh, that one might be up there now, or that one might be up.
Yeah, almost all these songs are on my list. They're just further down.
Right. Yeah, and my list, I probably like your guys. My list change all the time because, like I said, once I listen to a song, I'm like, I'm trying to pick these songs that fit very well by themselves. To me, right? It can be different for you guys. I can pick out these songs like, okay, I can listen to that song by itself, even though, like I said, this song leads into Eclipse, and it reminds me of Eclipse, and I just hear it in my head. That's where it's going to go. But I listen to these 4 songs, especially I think the top 2 probably more than anything else, solo wise. Otherwise, everything else I listen per the album, right? So.
Right.
Just to touch on what you said about Roger when you're talking about interviews.
Yeah.
In the live at Pompeii, when I think they're at a diner or something, it looks like they're eating, and the camera's Roger's having an argument with somebody, telling them like the producer doesn't know what he's doing, basically. Yeah. And you kind of see Gilmour give like a slight little smirk.
Yeah.
And then, like, to ease the tension, he like puts a book that he's got, like, I don't remember what the book is, up in front of Roger's face to like kind of like, all right, let's kind of cut the tension here. Right. Roger's being a complete ass, and Gilmour's like kind of sheepishly like, yeah, how can we change this? How can we get out of this?
It's amazing. It's amazing. I mean, that obviously was an issue with the band for a long time, and it took a while for it to finally kind of balloon and for them to fracture, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know how you deal with an egomaniac. Like, I really don't. I'm being honest. I'm not even trying to rip on Roger Waters. He's so over the top, even way back then. He's worse now, but even back then, I don't know. Yeah. And he's probably worse in person than he was publicly.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Especially those three. Those three guys are the nicest. They're most clean, calm-spoken guys.
I was just going to say they all seem just very calm,
Yeah,
well-mannered.
They look like the guys who would be like writing this kind of music because they're all kind of chill and they're all kind of like this, right?
Well, you had to wonder if they thought, "Fuck, we got another member of the band that's going fucking nuts."
Right.
At least the other one had,
You know what I mean?
Again,
when you're dumping, gelatin acid LSD on your head, at least he has an excuse of being going crazy. I don't know.
But then when you say all that, I'm like, but fucking look what Fleetwood Mac did.
No, you're right. Yeah, right. You can look at other bands and go, well, they were
Not
just
to get off topic, but fuck,
Right.
how the fuck
Yeah.
did they do that?
How did they survive, right? How did they put together that great music when they were all so fucking fucked in so
And
many
all
ways, right?
ripped on fucking Blow too, but whatever.
What we talk about all the time, I think, to all these years, not to get off topic a little bit, but Aerosmith, I think, is the only band that really didn't change any members. Even when they stopped, the band stopped. It's not like they got a new singer or new guitarist. And then when they got back together, same guys. Sure, they stopped and started, but they've just been the same guys the entire time.
Yeah.
I think, are they the only real band that they could do that? I don't know. I think they are. I can think of off the top of my head. Because Fleetwood Mac was in and out, and obviously Lindsay left a few times. Obviously Pink Floyd, with Roger leaving and then him trying to sue to get the name back and all that stuff. But yeah, there was some brain damage going on that boy.
Like, leave if you want, but how do you think you're the whole band? I don't understand.
Have you met singers?
Right.
Not enough, apparently. Sorry. No.
have you met guitar players?
Yeah.
He's not wrong. All right, my number 3 is it's the samey, and it's kind of a basic bitch. It's Time from Dark Side of the Moon.
Nice.
We all know the song. It's the 4th track off Dark Side of the Moon, 1973. It's written by the whole band, but Roger Waters said the lyrics deal with the passage of time, midlife realization, and the sense of urgency that comes with once youth fades. He also said, inspired by his own shock that reaching his late 20s and realizing life was rushing by. And think about if you're in your late 20s, life is rushing. Dude, try 50 fucking 3, okay?
Yeah.
Which
is why that song hits so much harder now.
Yeah,
Right?
no shit, man. I hear those clocks ticking in the background.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Obviously, the famous opening is a barrage of chiming and ticking alarm clocks was created by engineer Alan Parsons as a test for the EMI Studios quadraphonic sound system. Each clock was recorded separately and then layered to create the chaos. So I thought that was interesting. It was released as a single, but that did not chart anywhere. I looked everywhere. This song did not chart anywhere.
Yeah, I couldn't. That's when I was looking for chart stuff. I'm like,
yeah. And I'll get into that in my next pick. The lengthy runtime also made it kind of less suitable for radio, and Pink Floyd wasn't one to make radio edits either. They didn't make a radio edit of a song, so that probably hurt it as well.
Your song's 8 minutes long. We need it on the radio. Oh, we don't want to cut it.
tell Roger that. Don't go tell Roger that.
Can't get rid of the clocks.
Yeah, don't tell Roger you need to cut that down to 3.5. Fuck you.
Go fuck yourself. The line, "No one told you when to run, you missed the starting gun," is often quoted as one of Pink Floyd's most haunting reflections on mortality and lost opportunities, because it's kind of a depressing line if you think about it. And just of note, it has over 454 million streams on Spotify.
Wow.
But never charted.
Never charted. Everyone knows this song. Never charted. And it was released as a single.
Wow.
I've seen people get emotional with this song.
Yeah, that's number 3. Time by off of Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah,
obviously, I agree with that pick.
My number 2, I thought Chris would have on it because he's waxed so poetically about this song. But I had to put the song on here because it was my number 1 for longest time, and then another one had to take that place. But my number 2 is from Momentary Lapse of Reason. I already said that for a while, Terminal Frost was on there, and so was on the Turning Away. This one is always on this list, and this is Learning to Fly.
That was almost on my list.
It's on my list, but I don't know. I didn't make the top 4.
That's his critic saying, Chris Scott says, I don't know.
I don't know. I just don't know. I
That's
do
what
like
you
the song.
Yeah. I love the song.
It never touched my four.
It's obviously
Never
the first post Roger Waters single. It was released in 1987. It was the first single after Roger Waters' departure, and is one of the first songs to showcase David Gilmour fully at the creative helm. Obviously, the bulk of it was written by David Gilmour. Actually, all of it was written by all three guys, and also Bob Ezrin as well. It reached number one on Billboard's album rock charts. Did not chart on the Billboard Hot 100. It is, and that's why I'm going back to last song, it is only one of 5 Pink Floyd singles to hit the U.S. singles chart.
Wow.
What are the other 4, you ask? Well, here you go. Number 1 was Money, which hit number 13 in 1973. Another Brick and Wall Part 2 hit number 1 in 1979. Run Like Hell hit number 53 in 1980. And then Take It Back from Division Bell hit number 72 in 1994.
Wow.
So you're right. They only had 5 singles that ever hit the Hot 100.
I'm surprised Run Like Hell was over Young.
Yeah. Actually, I was surprised.
Yeah.
Well.
I do like the song, but yeah.
The lyrics are partially inspired, according to David Gilmour, about his real life experience of learning to get his pilot's license.
Oh, pretty basic then, really.
Yeah. Yes, he's saying
no deep message, just like I was literally learning to fly.
I'm just a millionaire and get my pilot's license.
What are you going to say about learn to fly? What are you going to call it? Learning to fly?
Learn to fly.
I kind of liked Tom Petty's version better.
I did too.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I did not.
I prefer this one. I like them both, but I prefer this one.
My fans aren't happy this episode.
I go pathetic. That features John Mason's voice, or Nick Mason's voice, recorded as he recites the pre-flight aircraft checklist instructions through a vocoder. That's what that talking is in the background.
Oh, that's cool.
And I did not know this, but Tony Funk Fingers Levin played bass on this song.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yep. Another, again, we talk about Rick Beato all the time. Obviously, much bigger channel ours, but if you haven't seen his interview with Tony Levin, watch that one too. It's really good. That's my number 2, Learning to Fly.
Good pick.
Yeah, I love that song, but it was not anywhere close to my top 4, and I don't know that it ever has. Maybe because it was played so much.
Sure, could be.
So
yeah, it's one of those songs we talked before. I've never gotten sick of. So yeah, go ahead, Jimmy.
I don't get sick of it.
So what I got from that was it's a good pick for you.
For you.
Oh, those Canadians.
It's good for you, you basic bitch. All right, that brings me to my number 1, which is also a samey. It's Wish You Were Here from Wish You Were Here. Released September 1975. Written by David Gilmour and Roger Waters. Now, this song, everyone thinks is about Syd Barrett. According to Roger Waters, who's it about? Of course, it's about himself.
Right.
That's what he says. That was from a recent interview. Well, it was from the last 20 years, from the 2000s. I'm going to guess maybe time has changed the meaning of that song, maybe.
No.
It seems like a hard, and I'm not saying he's lying. I'm just saying it seems like a weird song you write about yourself.
Yeah, it's not about himself. That's him again losing his mind. The rest of the band has clearly stated that it was about Syd, right?
And David Gilmour says every time he plays a song, he thinks of Syd. Every single time.
Syd, right? Like that entire album, really. Like I'm not sure.
Well, of course,
the cigar is for Syd, but that whole album was dedicated to Syd.
Well, right? And of course, if you're the narcissist that he is, over time, of course, if it's not about Syd, who are you gonna make it about? Oh,
he's probably like, who's Syd? Like, fuck.
I wish I was here. You are here, you stupid.
You are here, right? Like, fuck.
Fuck. But both Gilmour and Waters have said the song is the band's finest song. Surprisingly, Wish You Were Here was not originally released as a single in 1975 in most countries. It did get released in Poland, where it hit number 1.
It's cold in Poland.
It's cold in Minnesota and Canada too. What?
I do love that that line was it? Two lost souls swimming in a
fishbowl.
Fishbowl.
Year after year. That's a really cool line.
Yeah.
It's also very, very, again, sad. Dude.
Yeah.
Very poetic, but oh my God, dude, that's depressing as fuck. That's one thing I'll give Roger Waters. He and even Gilmore too. They had a great way of saying, again, talking about mental illness without saying it's mental illness. Very creative, very artsy, very poetic way.
Yeah.
Without trying to sound cliche or poetic, even, you know, in their own way. It's kind of cool.
That guitar line, I mean, it just sounds lonely. And
that guitar line came about with him just screwing around in the studio, and Roger Waters goes, "We're doing something with that. What is that?"
Yeah,
and the band started working on it.
It's really cool.
I love when you hear about that. And again, I've referenced it before, the 9-hour Beatles documentary on Disney Plus. You see that all the time. You see 3 times Paul McCartney just come up with songs right then and there on film. He's just doodling around. It's like, oh, what's that? Oh, it's going to be Get Back. Oh. So yeah, it's cool when you hear about how these bands literally they're just fucking around. That's how it came out. One of the most legendary songs of all time, just him doodling on the guitar.
That's awesome. I love those stories.
Man, it's also one of the rare songs where both Gilmore and Waters sing the vocal. In 2001, Rolling Stone, our favorite place, placed it in number 302 on their 500 greatest songs of all time.
Seems high.
I was going to say it seems low.
Seems low.
Yeah. Seems low.
Also, it was ranked among the greatest guitar songs ever by Guitar World, who didn't really put them in order. They just said these are the greatest guitar songs ever. That's my number 1. Wish You Were Here. Samesy, a basic bitch.
Just a correction when I said seems high, meaning that's like high up on the list.
Oh, like 300. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
The three of us were saying the same thing, but I just said it in the wrong perspective. Yeah.
So do you have a case of the Roger Waters, some revisionist history going on?
I am awesome.
That's my top 4, gentlemen. It's off to you, Dink.
That was good, man. Really good.
5 samesies.
You said the over-under was 6, right?
Yeah, we're gonna get to 6 because there's one more.
Get that bet.
I need to work in Vegas.
Well, I will. Let me preface this with this because I said in my intro, I'm a Roger guy. That is true. It's certainly not his attitude. Certainly, like he's clearly fucking got his own issues. I just really love their. Like the Final Cut I'm not a huge fan of.
No one is.
But I knew like because like Chris had said, he came in '87. I fell in love with him when I was a kid with The Wall. Hence the shirt. There's a couple here off The Wall. The Wall was on my go back and watch it, fans. If you haven't, we did an Islands album. The Wall was on my Islands album list. I fucking love The Wall. So and it's all Roger, right? Even though he is a douche. And I know I'm a Roger guy because I don't listen to the Division Bell ever. I didn't give it the fucking time of day when it came out. And I barely listened to Momentary Lapse of Reason. Actually, you guys have got me listening to it more. I always just stop at The Wall, maybe a couple tracks off the Final Cut because I do like Roger. And it's all the stuff before. Which isn't fair because you'll find out with my number 1 that it's all Gilmore. So it doesn't make any sense. Whatever. Anyway, I'll just roll into the list without the disclaimer shit. Number 4 is Nobody's Home from The Wall. So if you're familiar, even if you're not familiar with the album and you've watched the movie, this is when he's sitting in the apartment, like by himself, right? Like Pink or Bob Geldof.
Yeah, Bob Geldof, yeah.
Right. So then I was like, okay, so there's very like, and this is the funny thing about Floyd because they're such a huge band. There's not a lot of write-ups. I don't know if you guys found this on specific tracks, right?
No.
Hell of a time.
That's why I had to go to video.
So I was like, this is interesting. So I would have thought there'd be tons of info. So you kind of go by what you know or what you could find. So I haven't like a little bit here. Like the lyrics paint a bleak portrait of isolation. And when I was reading it, I was like, oh, and they reference Pink. I'm like, well, he's not a real person. With Pink listing a series of personal possessions and failed connections underscored by a haunting piano melody composed by Richard Wright. Okay, so yeah, so like I said, Pink's not a real person, but they're clearly referencing the movie, right?
No, well the album itself was a concept album, yeah.
Yeah, it's because it's a concept album, exactly. Yeah. The song's sparse instrumentation and honest vulnerability sharply contrasts with some of the album's heavier, more theatrical moments, making it a stand-up piece in the narrative, I guess. But if you don't know the song, it's the song that starts, I got a little black book with my poems in, got a bag with a toothbrush and a comb in. I'm a good dog, they sometimes throw me a bone. If you don't know the song, right? Plastic bands keeping my shoes on. I'm not reading those lyrics. All right, that's in that. But anyway, I love this fucking song. I love it. And in fact, when I looked at my list before we started this, Brain Damage was 4 and this was 5. And I'm like, nah, one of these basic bitches is gonna have brain damage. I'm jumping this to number 4. Sorry, guys. Because I love this song just as much, right? But anyway, this is my number 4. I love The Wall, and like I said, there's another track coming up on it, and that's really it. It was produced by Bob Ezrin again, and it's very much Roger, right? And I don't know how much he included the band so much, like, and I think that's where the turmoil started, right? He went and recorded a bunch of this stuff and missed them off, right? Like, are we doing a band? We're doing a concept album. Well, that's weird. Are we doing an album together? Or are we doing a Roger album? Right? Like,
we're doing an album.
All right. But anyway, that's it. That's my number 4.
Good pick. Yeah, no, again, I don't think you can go wrong with any Pink Floyd song. Especially when you get to The Wall. The big thing for me, maybe with the exception of another Brick and Wall Part 2, because I've heard it so often on the radio.
It's a little overkill, right?
But I'm just saying, no, but that entire album, I have to listen to the whole thing. I really do.
It's hard to pluck, right? Like, and I can, like I said, we're plucked for this list, but
yeah,
I don't like to pluck. And you're right. You could pluck that one. And I did like the Korn cover of that one because I don't have that on my list and no one had it. So it's a popular one that everyone would know.
Yeah. No.
We're not going to get talked about the covers, but I did like the Korn cover.
Yeah. It was good.
Maybe one of these days we should do a covers.
Covers, right. We should. Anyway, my number 3. I skirted the rules a little bit for number 3 and took 2 songs that have 2 parts. Only 2 parts, unlike Shine On You Crazy Diamond, it has 9 parts or 7 parts or whatever how many million parts it has, which is awesome. You could do but you would never split that up, even though they're split into 2 sections on the album. It like I love it on YouTube or wherever else you can find it where it's all together as one because you don't want to skip the other songs to listen to it, but it is cool to listen to it all as one. These 2 are the first and the closing song of Animals, and it is Pigs on the Wing. Nice. And they're both a minute and a half, so together it's a full song.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I fucking love this. It says the album, which serves as a critique of societal structures and capitalism, inspired by George Orwell's Animal Farm. That's what I had. It tracks intimate and simple acoustic guitar arrangement, showcases Roger's heartfelt lyrics. But it's really Gilmour's playing that showcases Roger's lyrics.
Yes, I agree.
But there's just something about, and I thought about having the second track on the first side after Pigs on the Wing Part 1 is Dogs, and it's like 17 minutes, 17 fucking minutes long. It's awesome. But I'm like, do I want to have a song that's fucking 17 minutes long? No, like it's even a hard listen to the whole thing, right? Unless you're listening to the whole album. If you're planning on listening to the second side, or all one as a disc or whatever. But so I took these 2 because I love these. I love the guitar in it. So again, it's Gilmour. That's my number 2. I love Animals. It feels like a short album because there's so little tracks, because short ones.
5 tracks in there, right? 5?
Super long. Yeah, there's 5 tracks. Pigs on the Wing Part 1, minute 24. Dogs, 17 minutes. Pigs, 3 different ones, 11 minutes. Sheep, 10 minutes. Pigs on the Wing Part 2, a minute and 24 again.
Yeah.
Like, it's just weird, right? It's a weird layout, but it works. It flows so good. And like I said, in that moment in 2018 or 2019 when I was with those guys and we sat in the rain listening to it, I was like, oh, this is so good. Like, this is just so good. Put on the next Floyd album. And we were fucking wrecked. But anyway. And then we crashed because we probably would, but then no one wanted to listen to Final Cut anyway, and that's where we were at. So
yeah.
Anyway, if you got nothing that, I'll go on to my number 2, and it is much like Pigs on the Wing. If you split them at a minute and 24, my number 2 I might have loosely mentioned in other episodes. It is Vera from The Wall, and it is only a minute and 30 seconds or 36 seconds. Short song. There is some info on this song, thankfully.
Yeah.
I love this song. It serves as a brief but impactful interlude between lyrics that evoke theme of loss, nostalgia, and blah, 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 blah. Specifically referencing Vera Lynn, a British singer known for her songs during World War II. So, yeah, she used to come and sing to the troops, right? Vera Lynn?
Yep.
And that's, and Floyd has that, too, especially during The Wall. There's such a fucking war backdrop with all those songs, right?
I think that's just from being from the UK at their age,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, that's a heavy theme in The Wall.
Totally.
Yep.
It was not released as a single and did not chart. And minute and a half songs don't normally fucking chart anyway.
Right.
I don't know. It says Vera, along with other tracks on the album, highlight the band's ability to blend personal experiences with broader social commentary, hence the war, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it says here, Pink Floyd's exploration of themes such as memory loss and the impact of the war, reinforcing the band's status as one of the most influential acts in music fucking history. Whatever. Like, it's just mumbo jumbo to me. Like, it's just a fucking awesome song, right? And again, for me, it's Roger on this. I love his voice. So I just separate. It's like Nugent, right? Or Oasis. Just separate the fact that they're fucking crazy and enjoy the music, right? Shit crazy.
Shit crazy.
Right. And so my segment's going to be pretty short. That's my number 2, like that's short like that song. And my number 1 was Easy Peasy. My number 1 is my second favorite song of all time. It is my wife's second favorite song of all time.
Wow.
Just by coincidence. My first is Dust in the Wind by Kansas. Hers is Against All Odds by Phil. But it is Wish You Were Here. It is the 6th count for Samesies. I have nothing more to add based on my notes than what you guys had, other than it is firmly about Sid, so Roger can eat a dick. What are you talking about? You can't change who it's about, right?
Eat a dick.
Right, that's so stupid, right? Actually, I wrote it about myself. Oh, everything's about yourself. Come on. It's about Sid. It's always been about Sid. I think, like I said, that whole album is about Sid, and just own that. That's fine. You know what I mean? Like, but there's just something about this song. I've been in love with this song for years. This is on my list of songs I want played at my funeral.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And I have Dust in the Wind, which is my first favorite song, is also on that list. So I have 4 or 5, and they probably won't play any because
it's a long ass funeral.
Right. Well, it'll be much not like this segment. It'll be longer. You know what I mean? But they probably won't play any. They'll be too busy putting all my trinkets in a fucking garbage bin and shuffling me off into the fucking.
How much can we get for this? How much can we get for this?
Throw my dusty shambles out into the sea. Fuck. But anyway, that's Wish You Were Here. I fucking love that song. I can recite the lyrics. That's why I could sing it when you were. Like, I'm always, if somebody's got a guitar, I'm like, play Wish You Were Here if it's the right setting around the fire, because I know I can sing along. Like, I love it. And it is Gilmore. So tell me how you're a Roger guy when your second favorite song of all time and your first favorite Floyd song is a Gilmore fucking song.
Well, This is Gilmour at his best, right? I mean,
Right.
From not only just the acoustic guitar, but the lead solo and the song. I mean, the song's perfection. It really is.
It is perfection, right? And anyone that says they don't really like that song, I'm like, well, I don't really like you.
Eat a dick.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
It's like people who don't like dogs. I mean,
Of course, I'm kidding.
Exactly.
Right?
I was just gonna say that. I was just gonna say if you don't.
I don't
dogs,
get
you
it, right?
like
Yeah, I'm joking. Like I probably still like them, but yeah, if you don't like dogs, wow, what happened? Who hurt you as a child?
The dog.
Dog.
I was attacked.
The Rottweiler.
Right. But anyway, that's my list. Pretty short for me. Dick's shortest segment ever.
Almost as short as a couple of your picks there.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, and I think I touched on that in some other shows. They have short ass songs, and then they have massive long songs.
Yeah.
17 minutes, a collection of parts that make up 14 minutes or what have you. Like
23 minutes.
Yeah, I think you hold the record now with having Vera be your number one as far as shortest song on a list, because I think Jimmy had it before with song number 2.
Woo! Like 2 minutes or just
2 minutes, 2 seconds, something like that. 2 minutes, 2 seconds.
2:22. Of course it is.
Yeah.
Right.
222s.
222s. Yeah. Heroes are now shortest songs. So
I will say this: I knew we'd have a lot of samesies, but at the same time, we did have a lot of diversity in the songs we didn't have samesies in. You know,
right.
And that's one thing that's great about this band, because I think it's one of those bands, if you give it time, you really like music, and you like rock music, or you like music in general, there's something in this band that you will gravitate to if you give it a chance. You don't have to like the whole catalog, but you're going to find a gem in there, you know? Whether it's a basic bitch radio song you've heard a million times, or something like Vera, you know? You're going to find something I think you're going to gravitate to and like.
I think so too.
So, Dink, I got a question. Is there anything on Momentary Lapse of Reason that you like?
I like it all. I just never I for some reason I stopped. And when it came out and when we were in high school, right? Then like Floyd's got a new album, and I heard and it's funny I had Learning to Fly, Joe, because when I heard Learning to Fly, I was like, and then like a year and a half later when it was, or no, maybe it was right around the same time when Petty had his, and I was like, that's when you said I like Petty's better. And then someone said, I thought you loved Pink Floyd back then. I was like, yeah, but I haven't really listened to much after The Wall. So it's taken me years to listen to it. And like, it's only been in the last probably decade and a half that I've really got to actually know the songs. Because it's like a hard stop. I'm not listening to it. I don't know why you would ever support Roger in anything. But it was just a weird hard stop. And then when the Visual Bell came out, remember they toured? And people were like, "You want to go see Floyd?" I'm like, "I kind of want to see Floyd."
I have the live album. I have the live CD still. Pulse,
yeah, I'm like, well, I don't really want to hear anything off that new album. I don't give a shit. But yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing him. And it was really expensive. I never went, and I was like, "Fucking should have went." Like, and I've grown to like some of that stuff, but like, no, I don't know. It's weird. It's really fucking weird. It was like that 4 album chunk. Like even the stuff before Dark Side, like Adam Hart, Mother, and all that. Like it's not like after Sid, there was a couple albums, right?
They're figuring it out. They're trying to figure it out.
Metal. Like Fearless is on Metal, I think, right? Like some of those are okay, but it's just a 4 album chunk for me that I was like enamored by those 4 albums. I love them, and there's heavy, even though there's heavy Gilmour, it's heavy Roger, right?
Yeah.
Because he was trying to take over until they said, all right, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Well, I have a question. One of the things I did not do is during the research is, go through the discography and all that. You've made a couple references tonight about After the Wall and Momentary Lapse of Reason. Was there really a 7-year gap between albums with The Wall and Momentary Lapse, or was there something in between that?
Yeah, the final cut was 81 or 82. Like, but maybe they don't even count it because it really was a Roger song.
And keep in mind,
there was a bunch of it without them even there. I think.
No, it's there.
There is a period there. I don't know how many. I forget how many years, but there's a years-long lawsuit battle between the parties for the name. Roger insists he owned the name, and the other 3 guys are like, "No, you don't."
So they weren't putting monetary stock into it for whoever won or lost.
Well, Joe was right. The final cut was like, leftovers from the Wall, right? Like
right.
it was all Roger, and then there was a massive gap before. Well, massive being not 7 but 5.
Okay, that's still a long time.
And I remember seeing an interview with Nick Mason said something like, "It's a shame we couldn't." He goes, "Musically, we're all kind of thinking like where we wanted to go. We were all thinking like we all liked money to a certain point, you know.
Yeah.
Too bad we couldn't
keep going, right? This is all right. I like my wallet.
Well, think of it this way: a lot of people.
I think he said we all lusted for money to a certain extent, or something like that. Like a British. That's a very British way to say it. Sorry, to cut you off.
No. I was just gonna say. I mean, a lot of people don't consider the Final Cut an actual Floyd album. They really don't. And so if you disregard that album, it's really 8 years between The Wall and Momentary Relapse of Reason. Okay. So there was a lot. There was a lot of fervor for that album to come out to hit. I mean, I remember
that's probably why it's so hard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Everyone went crazy for that.
And I think there was a certain sense of relief. It's like, oh, it still sounds like Pink Floyd.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it does. It took me a while to get there, but it does. Like
slight difference. Also, 8 years later, things change, people change, but still had that Floyd sound to it.
Yeah.
I did see some articles about them re-reviewing the Final Cut, and like years later, critics being a little bit more friendly towards it. But I still don't like.
I don't like
anything about it.
No, I don't either. I literally agree with David.
I like the Wall because I like Roger and I like the Wall so much. I don't mind some of the tracks, but I don't love it. Like it feels like a leftovers.
It sounds like a Roger solo album,
right?
Of stuff that's like,
yeah.
I mean, essentially, it is right.
Right.
What was like after The Wall? I mean, I didn't do a lot of deep diving on this. I mean, the turmoil in the band, did it take a head during this time? I mean, you mentioned lawsuits. Was there a reason that they just said, you know,
during the Final Cut, it was pretty, from everything I've seen or read, like Roger he'd pushed out
Richard Wright?
Richard Wright, yes. Yeah, so he pushed Richard Wright out, and then that's when he turned to Nick. After that, he turned to Nick Mason and said, well, if all you're going to do is drum on it, you don't deserve to have any credits. So then Nick Mason started doing some of the sound manipulation stuff, but he was going through a divorce at the time too. So he didn't really fucking care. He just wanted to do his shit and get out. And
then, that makes sense.
And then he said Gilmore said, well, I don't really like any of these songs. And Rogers said, and again, this is from stuff that I've read.
Right.
Yeah. Basically saying, well, then you bring something to the table. And Gilmore, being the more, like we talked about, relaxed chili, is like, well, I haven't worked on anything yet. Give me some time to work on some stuff and I'll bring it to the table. And Waters basically told him to go pound fucking sand.
Go pound sand, right.
Gilmore basically had his name taken off as even like a producer on the album.
And so, and back to Joe's point, it really is kind of a Roger, a Waters solo with the Floyd name on it, right? Which is kind of shitty. Right?
Well, and even I read that at somebody, I don't even remember who was quoted, said maybe that he should have probably just gone and done a one, but he wanted to have the name, right? He was so arrogant that he thought
you wanted the name,
He wanted the name,
he was Pink Floyd. So he wanted it over. He wanted to push all them out, and did he really want it because he thought it was the artist behind it, or did he want it because he knew if he had it by himself, he'd get more money?
Right.
Or three. Also, and probably I'm going to say three. Screw the other three guys.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it's not to have power and dominance.
Right. Well, we all like to push the drummer out.
It's a whack job. You can't really get that answer from, so you just speculate.
Right.
Well, and the other thing is too, you remember they already had most of the album already recorded momentarily after reason before the lawsuit was finalized.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they had material. And so they want to release this Pink Floyd, and they were going to, and that's when the whole thing came about.
And right, was he going to try to get his hands on some of that? Because
that's why I was saying the money comment earlier.
From what I read, most of it was the fact he just didn't want them using the name at all. He owned it. He thought
he knew he wasn't involved in any of that production at all, right?
And he thought he owned the name. Well, again, he wrote everything about himself, apparently. So,
was he an OG member?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, more so than Gilmore. Like Gilmore.
Yeah, Gilmore came in later on. Yep.
But Gilmore was just as much of a factor.
Gilmore was around before Sid was completely out. It wasn't when Gilmore just right? Gilmore knew Sid too and was around the band doing stuff with them.
Have you seen those documentaries when they were recording and Sid, and they were like, "Who's this bloated guy in the studio?"
Sid, with shaved head. Yeah.
They didn't even fucking shaved head, bloated. Didn't even recognize him, and it was him. Oh, it's just. Could you imagine?
Yeah,
that
Jimmy,
your buddies, your band members. Who's that guy? That's
literally the last few shows he played with Floyd live. His mic wasn't even on. His guitar was not even on. He was so fucking out of it because a lot of times he would just go off tangents musically or just this weird shit on stage, and the band just kind of have to follow him along, and he's tripping out.
I could be misremembering this, but from one of those documentaries, I remember I think it was a manager or somebody with the band having a conversation outside about, we're going to go see Sid, but you got to be prepared for what you're going to see. He's not who you remember. He's not who you remember.
Right.
Living with his mom.
It's sad, right? Could you imagine? Like, it's just fucking sad.
I mean, they talked about times before because LSD back in the 60s used to be a gel. And so he would take the bottle, he'd get a bottle, and he'd just pour it over his head and just let it go. And you wonder why the guy went on a permit trip.
Right.
Yeah.
The plus out of it is that they made some pretty fucking fantastic music.
Literally, and through through Sid Barrett doing the experimenting he did before he left the band too, kind of put the band kind of in a way, even though the next couple albums after he was out of the band, they're still trying to figure out their way. What he brought to the band still kind of formed
them on their path.
On their path, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that him leaving and Gilmore joining set the stage for so much better music than if Gilmore had never joined, right?
I mean, arguably one of the best guitarists ever live drops in your lap.
Right. But anyway, on that note, if you got nothing else to add, I think we'll wrap up the Floyd episode. I think it was bad shit crazy. I think it was pretty good. We touched on a lot of music. Jimmy, I didn't mean to correct you, but Dirty Woman is Young Lust.
The name of the song, you mean?
The name of the song.
Yeah. I just noticed Dirty Woman.
Yeah, no, and I'd said it a couple times, and then you said Dirty Woman, and I'd already said that song. It's called Young Lust.
I'm so oblivious to you correcting me all the time.
No, and I wasn't even trying to correct you, but then when you said it after I already said Young Lust, I said, well, that's Young Lust. And then you went on talking. I'm like, he still doesn't know it's Young Lust. Will forever be Dirty Woman. And that's fine.
All right.
That's what a lot of people probably fucking call it anyway, right?
Well, that tells you my level of Pink Floyd dumb.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine.
I had fun with it, though.
Yeah, no, I'm glad we did it. We talked about it early on, and then we shelved it for a while.
I listened to them anyways.
I listened to them anyways too, right? And I listened to them probably not as much as I have with other episodes because I know their stuff, but I still did. I was like, any fucking excuse, right? Like, yeah. So we're Just Ranked. If you like Pink Floyd, if you like music talk, if you like us, subscribe, hit the bell like AC/DC. Comment. Give us your top 4 Floyd songs. Do
you like the saxophone?
Yeah, do you like the saxophone? Do you like the keyboards? Do you like batshit crazy music? These guys have got it covered. Do you like psychedelic funk? Do you like early R&B?
Do you like Dread Pop?
Early British R&B.
Do you like funeral songs? What the fuck, man? But anyway, yeah, so I don't know if you got nothing else to add, guys. That's it for me.
Peace out.
JustRankPod.com. You can find us there, or you can find us right here saying
go fuck yourself.
Go fuck them.
We do wish you were here.
Fuck them.
Seriously, fuck us.
Go fuck themselves.
We're Dirty Woman. We're Dirty Woman.
That's Young Lust, fucker.
Just Ranked is researched and produced by the Just Ranked crew. Edited and mixed by Joe Burkle. Socials and marketing by DJR Media Services. Theme music by Blue Joker. If you're enjoying the show, please set your podcast app to download new episodes and help spread the word by leaving a review and tell everyone you know to listen.